There's no Eagle, Lee Shirus with us today, and of course Nick Pereira. Nico, how about that? What we just saw, Zizou Bergs getting past Ramos Vinolas. That's impressive.
Well, Ramos Vinolas is an experienced guy at 10 years back-to-back in the top 100. But Zizou, you got to love the name. Yeah. You got to love the game.
Well, if you called the match, that was really surprising but impressive.
I mean, do you remember your first time playing an ATP match? I mean, there's a lot of nerves out there. You try and get your best tennis out of it. I knew this kid had a chance because of the conditions. I knew that the Spaniard wasn't going to hurt him too badly, and he took his chance. I'm proud of him. He really played great.
And he's a banger. I like that. You know,
and he went down
in Belgium.
And he went down, by the way, that break in that second set, then breaks back, and he gets back on serve and eventually goes on to win the match. What a moment in his home country, nonetheless. We continue on the show because we've got a lot to go through. We're going to start in Ostrava, where we saw a great match. Coco Gauff, who had come off a little bit of some recent struggles, certainly in that second round matchup at Roland Garros, taking on Katerina Siniakova. Leaf, we called this match, and Coco Gauff, despite some of the early struggles, really centered the ship pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think we had, 4 breaks of serve. Both players a little bit tight, a little bit unsure of how they wanted to play. Coco didn't play her best tennis, but she played enough good tennis at the right times today, and she played with a lot of heart. Siniakova is a great competitor as well, but I think Coco just came up with some good tennis at the right times. This was a great exchange. Coco getting it done on set point.
1 hour, 35 minutes for this match. 7-5 in that first set. And the double faults were what we were looking at for Coco Gauff. She came in double figures in her previous 3 tour-level matches, only 6 in this one, and it would eventually lead to this moment. Match point number 4 in that second set at 5-4. Gauff returning the Siniakova serve, and it was Coco getting through to the second round. And here's what she had to say about her performance after the match.
Coco, it was your first time against Katerina. How tough she made it to you?
Yeah, it was definitely really tough. She fought to the end. I mean, those last couple points she played were unreal, and I was really just trying to get the ball on the court. She was hitting some great shots.
You played the third match here after 2 in qualifications. Was it the toughest one, and what decided it for you that you won?
Honestly, what decided is when we shook hands at the end. But yeah, today was tough. I wasn't really playing my best today, and I just had to kind of fight through.
Said it was decided when they shook hands at the end. What a line from the 16-year-old who has had a really great start to the year, Leaf. I know we talked about it during the match. She started really strong. The hiatus came, and she's trying to find that footing once again.
Yeah, I think the hiatus for a lot of players, it sort of interrupted their momentum, and she's been struggling a bit with her serve. I mean, the fact that she served well today, I think, got enough first serves in again at the right times. But the double faults, yes, they've been an issue. Again, this is part of her journey. She's going to have to address it and figure it out. I thought she did a good job managing that today, particularly serving into the body at the right times. I mean, that's a high percentage serve. I thought she played smartly. The fact that she has such a great understanding of putting balls in play. I wasn't playing great, but I was going to make me tough to beat on the day, and it worked for her.
You know, Siniakova, 24, was the elder statement on this one by 8 years, and you have to put that into perspective. At 16, to be able to adjust like that, to play with the score, and to beat a player like Siniakova, she's been playing really well, says a lot for Coco Gauff, who's been struggling off late, like we all know, but she put it together today for a big win.
Well, Nico, to Leaf's point, 73% on the first serve today. That certainly plays a role, but it doesn't get much easier in round 2. Aryna Sabalenka up next. That is a tough task, a tall task for Coco, but she's certainly up for it.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough because of the surface. It's a real fast surface, and Sabalenka is a big hitter. If she doesn't make a big percentage of first serve, Sabalenka is going to jump, put pressure on that second serve, and that's when those double faults come. So it will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I also think, though, that Coco is going to be able to keep the ball down low and get a lot of balls in play. And Sabalenka, who can hit a lot of winners, can also create a lot of unforced errors. So I think the surface, although indoors, Sabalenka's going to serve big. Yes, she's going to throw in a lot of winners. You can get to her, and I think Coco is going to win the match again by using her legs well, running well, competing well. I think she's got a tremendous opportunity.
Doesn't stop to amaze. Her poise at 16 is just something beautiful to watch.
It's absolutely absurd, the mental toughness this 16-year-old has. We'll go from one American to another, and we'll go from one country to another, from Ostrava all the way to Cologne, Germany. Tennis Sandgren in action with a fresh haircut, and it was Sandgren taking on the Frenchman Pierre-Hugues Herbert. Nico, this match was a lot of fun.
Well, we saw the surface in Antwerp, and we're seeing it now in Cologne. A slow indoor hardcourt right on top of the wood base there with a slow paint and Sangren. We know how great a shape Sangren is in. He's moving really well for a guy 6'4", very powerful, but Herbert can really fly. He's one of the best doubles players at this moment. Herbert, he can cover the whole court. Sangren really had to do something special to get through the Frenchman. He managed to win that second set, but then in the third, Herbert established his return. You know, Sangren was not as effective, made a lot of unforced errors in critical points, and there you go. Herbert again doing it at the net. This guy is solid all around, and if he was not so successful in doubles, he would have a much better singles career. Just a solid performance by Herbert to beat Sangren here.
He had the hair working.
I was going to say, the man bun is through to the next round. So who's he going to take on? Sinner and Duckworth. Yannick Sinner, he is the name at the tip of every tennis fan's tongue, and for great reason, Nico.
Could not wait to watch Sinner again. Duckworth, he likes to play in faster surfaces a lot better, but total domination from the teenager. Again, starting where he left off at the French Open, their serve for the set against Rafa Nadal, and he was just so solid from the back. All business. Look at that game face from the youngster. And Duckworth just had nothing to do on this one from the start. 6-1 the first set for Sinner, and then Duckworth just, you know, grew more and more desperate, trying crazy shots like this, and Sinner, very sober tennis for a 19-year-old.
So Yannick Sinner on to round two. He will take on Pierre-Hugues Herbert, and for Yannick Sinner, into the top 50 for the first time in his career, last year's ATP Newcomer of the Year Leaf. There's so much to like about this young man's game, and really for the entire Italian tennis world, on the men's side especially, they've got Berrettini, they've got Sinner, Musetti is up and coming, but let's focus on the 19-year-old because he is... It's somebody that has star power written all over him.
Yeah, I mean, he might be the brightest light of all of the great Italians. I mean, I think they've got 8 or 9 in the top 100. But a couple of things about this guy. I mean, forehand and backhand. It reminds me a little bit of Andre Agassi because both of these shots, the backhand and the forehand, are as good as the other. I mean, where do you put the ball with this guy? He played so well against Nadal at the French Open. Those shots were really put on full display. The other thing is his poise. How calm is this guy? I mean, he handles the big moments well, and I think he has such a strong belief about the things he can do in this game. It's nice to watch a player emerge like this and start to make the move to the top of the game.
Well, aside from Sinner, that we know comes from the northern part of Italy, we have Musetti, and then we have Fognini. Let's not forget about him. He was top 10 last year, and all the Italian newcomers this year, and they all come from different parts of Italy, and that's something that fascinates me because they don't come from one particular school. Of course, Riccardo Piatti is in charge of the Sinner camp, but that's something of a case study in Italy. We have all these tournaments going on, and I think that's the base. These small tournaments bring out the best in the youngsters, and that's the key for the success of Italian tennis at this time.
Well, look, Yannick Sinner certainly performed on the big stage at Roland Garros. This is a guy who's only been playing tennis full-time since he was 13. Yeah. So 6 years of his life where he's fully dedicated to the game. Nearly took that first set off of Rafa Nadal at Roland Garros. What's that next step for him? How can he now get over that hump so he can compete with the big boys?
Well, you mentioned the 13-year-old start for Sinner, and I think the skiing is the key in terms of his balance. It's amazing how he gets to the balls on the sides and when he moves forward on any surface. The next step is playing more matches like the Nadal match. He found himself in a situation where he could have closed out the first set. I think it was a bit tight. Normal in a match of that scale against an opponent like Rafa, but I think Sinner just needs more experience in those situations, and he has the poise and he has the shots.
So Yannick Sinner cruising through to the second round over in Cologne as we look at our play for tomorrow. Here's the order of play, our featured matches. Leaf, what stands out to you on this list?
Well, I mean, there's so many good ones. Obviously, I'm really interested to see how Alexander Zverev, the top seed, the champion from Cologne 1, responds. I mean, how nice is it for him to get home cooking back-to-back weeks? He might just add a second title the way he's going. The surface and the conditions suit his game perfectly.
I'm going to go with the woman, Leaf. Why not? Svitolina against Sakkari. You have Sakkari that is in the top 20 playing Svitolina, the number 1 seed in the second round. That just tells you how deep the fields are these next few weeks, especially on the woman that had to scratch the Asian leg of the tour.
In what has been an unprecedented and crazy year, what a fantastic finish we have.